6:22, and it's time to take a look at your money. Right now, we're about 2 hours out from new insight on the economy's health as markets reopen at a high-stakes moment. This morning, economists are watching closely after Wednesday's escalation in the ongoing trade wars triggered a global sell-off. Today, it's adding to the anxiety many investors have faced since trade tensions heated up in February. Financial advisor Mark Grevicheski is joining us now live on Zoom to break this down for us. Good morning, Mark.
Morning, Devin. Good to see you again. Happy Monday.
Yeah, a lot to talk about. Give us your latest thoughts on the decline in the U.S. stock market. What does it mean this morning as we kick off a new week of trading?
Well, look, kind of looking at some of the pre-market indicators here. The U.S. stock market doesn't officially open up until 8:30, but the Dow, S&P 500, Nasdaq, all set to open lower about 1.5%, 2%. The Dow currently trading down another 700 points, S&P 500 down another 100, and that Nasdaq, which has really kind of been brutalized over the last couple of months, set to open down about another 400 points. So set to open up for another shaky market, unfortunately.
How long do you think these trade disputes might last?
Well, look, President Trump has long believed that countries around the world place, tariffs, quotas, and trade restrictions on U.S.-made goods that negatively impact our economy and the labor market, and is using that sheer size and power of the U.S. economy as leverage to force countries to reduce those, tariffs, quotas, trade restrictions on U.S.-made goods. Look, when it comes to Mexico and Canada, Canada's economy is about 7% the size of the U.S. economy. Mexico's economy, just 6%. Neither of those countries, Devin, can really afford to go, toe to toe with the U.S. for an extended trade war. Those economies would literally be decimated. But China's economy, Devin, is 65% the size of the U.S. economy, while the 27-member European Union is about 50% the size. So China, the European Union have that size and kind of potential durability to weather this storm a bit longer than most other countries.
So what advice do you have for investors who are feeling the impact of this market sell-off in their investment portfolios and retirement accounts?
Yeah, great question. I get that a lot recently. Look, if you look back at the entire 125-year plus history of the U.S. stock market, this isn't the first big decline in the stock market, and it's not going to be the last. More recently, Devin, look, in 2020, during the COVID pandemic, the S&P 500 fell 34%. Just a couple of years ago in 2022, S&P 500 fell 24%. Now, we don't know how long any individual market decline will last, but each and every time the stock market rebounded and went on to set new all-time highs. But if you panic and you sell out of the stock market now, you're going to miss out when the stock market does recover. And look, for longer term investors, Devin, this can actually be an opportunity to buy into the stock market at now much cheaper prices.
All right, Mark, a lot to follow, but we thank you for staying on top of it.
Great to see you again. Take care, Devin.
And we'll see you next Monday. Well,